Africa is home to a diverse array of economies, each contributing to the continent's overall growth and development. Within this dynamic landscape, the top 15 largest economies in Africa play a pivotal role in driving regional and global economic trends. These economies, ranging from powerhouse nations to emerging markets, wield considerable influence in shaping Africa's economic landscape. Let us dive in. Welcome back to Just Know It 254. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel. I promise you will have the best videos and I will make them so interesting for you to watch and learn. Please subscribe. (15) Cameroon. GDP $44.34 billion. Cameroon boasts the 15th largest economy in Africa, with a total GDP of $44.34 billion. Over the past decade, the country has shown robust economic growth, with the GDP expanding at an average annual rate of 4%. The nation's major export markets comprise the Netherlands, France, China, Belgium, Italy, Algeria, and Malaysia. These trade partnerships play a vital role in supporting Cameroon's economic development and growth. 14. Tunisia. GDP $46.66 billion. Considered the only democratic state in the Arab world, according to the Economist Intelligence Unit's Democracy Index. Tunisia is one of the few countries in Africa ranking high in the Human Development Index, with one of the highest per capita incomes in the continent. The country currently has the 14th largest economy in Africa and the 4th largest economy in North Africa. 13. Sudan. GDP $51.66 billion. Sudan's GDP growth is driven mainly by mining and agriculture, and the inflows from oil transit fees and the Transitional Financial Arrangement (TFA) with South Sudan. 12. DR Congo. GDP $58.07 billion. The Democratic Republic of the Congo is a country in Central Africa. The capital and largest city is Kinshasa, is world's most populous francophone city. The country has a GDP of $58.07 billion, making it the 12th largest economy in Africa. The Democratic Republic of Congo is widely considered one of the world's richest countries in natural resources. Its untapped deposits of raw minerals are estimated to be worth in excess of $24 trillion. The Congo has 70% of the world's coltan, a third of its cobalt, more than 30% of its diamond reserves, and a tenth of its copper. 11. Côte d'Ivoire. GDP $70.02 billion. Ivory Coast is among the world's largest producers and exporters of coffee, cocoa beans, and palm oil. Consequently, the economy is highly sensitive to fluctuations in international prices for these products and to weather conditions. With a GDP total of $70.02 billion, Côte d'Ivoire has the 11th largest economy in Africa. The Ivorian economy is largely market-based and still relies heavily on agriculture. 10. Ghana. GDP $72.84 billion. Ghana is an average natural resource-enriched country possessing industrial minerals, hydrocarbons, and precious metals. It is an emerging designated digital economy with a mixed economy. With a GDP of $72.84 billion, Ghana has the second largest economy in West Africa and the 10th largest economy in Africa. Ghana is Africa's second biggest gold producer and second largest cocoa producer. It is also rich in diamonds and oil. 9. Tanzania. GDP $75.71 billion. Tanzania has a gross domestic product, GDP, of $75.71 billion, making it the 9th largest economy in Africa and the 3rd largest economy in East Africa. Tanzania is largely dependent on agriculture for employment, accounting for about half of the employed workforce. 8. Angola. GDP $106.71 billion. Officially the Republic of Angola, this country is Africa's second largest oil producer. Its economic growth is driven by agriculture, non-oil energy, fisheries, construction and manufacturing sectors. Angola's economy is the 8th largest in Africa, valued at $106.71 billion. Subsistence agriculture provides the main livelihood for 85% of the population. Oil production and the supporting activities are vital to the economy, contributing about 45% to GDP and 90% of exports. 7. Kenya. GDP $113.42 billion. Kenya's economy is the largest in Eastern and Central Africa and the 7th largest economy in Africa, with Nairobi serving as a major regional commercial hub. Kenya's growth is driven by tourism, financial intermediation, agriculture, and construction. In recent years, the economy has seen much expansion, seen by strong performance in tourism, higher education, and telecommunications. 6. Ethiopia. GDP $126.78 billion. According to the IMF, Ethiopia is one of the fastest-growing economies in the world, and one of the fastest-growing non-oil-dependent African economy in recent years. The country has the largest economy in East Africa and is concentrated in the services and agriculture sectors. Now worth at $126.78 billion, the GDP value of Ethiopia represents 0.12% of the world economy. 5. Morocco. GDP $134.18 billion. Morocco's economy is considered a relatively liberal economy governed by the law of supply and demand. Since 1993, the country has followed a policy of privatization of certain economic sectors which used to be in the hands of the government. Thanks to these changes, Morocco has become a major player in African economic affairs and is the 5th biggest economy in Africa by GDP. 4. Algeria. GDP $191.91 billion. Officially the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, Algeria is the 10th largest country in the world and the largest country in Africa and the Mediterranean. Its economy is the 4th largest in Africa, and its GDP growth is driven mainly by investment by public enterprises and private demand. 3. South Africa. GDP $405.87 billion. With a GDP of $405.87 billion, South Africa boasts the 3rd largest economy in Africa, according to the IMF. Being one of the most visited countries in Africa, South Africa's tourism industry holds a pivotal position as a major component of the country's economy. The influx of tourists contributes significantly to the nation's economic prosperity and growth. 2. Egypt. GDP $476.75 billion. Egypt commands the 2nd largest economy in Africa. Significant contributions to its GDP growth are attributed to sectors like tourism, agriculture, services, and industry. Furthermore, Egypt holds the distinction of boasting the largest economy in North Africa, underscoring its pivotal role within the region's economic landscape. 1. Nigeria. GDP $477.39 billion. Nigeria's economy is the largest in Africa, with a total GDP of $477.39 billion. Nigeria is a middle-income, mixed economy and emerging market, with expanding manufacturing, financial, service, communications, technology, and entertainment sectors. Nigeria's economy stands as the largest in Africa, primarily driven by its oil sector, which contributes to almost 1/3 of the country's GDP. The significant reliance on the oil industry plays a crucial role in shaping Nigeria's economic landscape. Tell us what your thoughts are about African economies in the comments below. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.